Today I'll be discussing the top 10 coasters I'm most excited to ride for 2015. This is these new coasters that I will be riding this year, and I am visiting 4 parks this year. 3 of them are new, however one of them is one that I have been to before in 2011, that is Six Flags Magic Mountain. The reason why I am heading back to Six Flags Magic Mountain is because they have really added some really nice new additions that look really thrilling and definitely will pack a punch, such as Full Throttle, Twisted Colossus, and Lex Luthor Drop of Doom. When I was there, they just added their Green Lantern First Flight, Superman Escape from Krypton, and they also added one other ride that I don't remember. These are some really great rides in the top 10, but since I'm riding about 40 new roller coasters this year, or at least will try to ride all the coasters at each park that I'm visiting, it is going to be very hard to put together this list, but I have tried the best and came out with these really great top 10. None of these coasters are bad. Coming at number 10 is Gatekeeper at Cedar Point. This will be my first ever B&M wing rider. It looks like a really good and pretty intense wing rider too, as most wing riders aren't that intense is what I hear. Of course I wouldn't really know because Gatekeeper will be my first wing rider, but when I review this coaster I will tell you the exacts, and that will be sometime in July when I come back from Cedar Point and Kings Island. And it'll be kind of maybe in still the beginning of the July month, because I will be heading to Cedar Point and Kings Island in the beginning of July. It was going to be in early August, but we have the trip to Canada's Wonderland now in August and not July. So that's going to be really cool. Gatekeeper does look like a really good ride though, and that's why I'm putting it at number 10 as my most excited rides to ride for 2015. Number 9 is Full Throttle. Of course, this has the world's tallest vertical loop at 160 feet. Insane. You have some great hang time on that loop also. That's why I'm really excited about this coaster. That's like the major part of why I'm excited. I have not really experienced that much hang time on a vertical loop yet, but I will when I ride Full Throttle at the end of June. Full Throttle also has that unique top hat. You have some really cool whiplashes over here. You have that backwards launch with those crazy sound effects. You have a 70-mile-per-hour launch, quite fast launch. And it's just looking like to be a really great ride that I definitely will enjoy. Number 8 is Thrill Dragster. I probably will like this roller coaster better than King Cobb, more than likely. Of course, this coaster houses the lap bars, unlike King Cobb, which houses those shoulder restraints that are very annoying to have with the ride. I think they should just take King Cobb's shoulder restraints away and go a little bit more copying Thrill Dragster by adding some lap restraints. These lap restraints are very comfortable, and this will definitely provide a much more intense ride for me on Thrill Dragster, and it will definitely provide a much more smoother ride, as the shoulder restraints like King Cobb kind of knock you around during that launch. Number 7 is Banshee. This definitely is deserving of one of the best, if not the best, B&M invert out there. This coaster looks phenomenal. You have that great 68 miles per hour speed. You have that spat wing where it reaches that top speed. You have a pretty fast lift hill. You have a touch of theming to it, which definitely does fit with the Cedar Fair theming range. And it just looks like a very awesome ride that I'm very excited to ride. I am more excited to ride this roller coaster than the other 3 that I have counted down. This coaster just looks like a much more intense experience than these other 3 that I have showed you. Number 6 is Behemoth. This is an airtime machine. This is, of course, a B&M hypercoaster over at Canada's Wonderland. You have a 75-degree drop, which is very steep, especially for a B&M hyper. Most B&M hypers stick with the 60-degree to 70-degree level. And this coaster is an airtime machine. You only have one twister section, which doesn't last that long. You go right back into the insane airtime. Most of this coaster before that is just airtime after airtime after insane airtime, insane airtime. This coaster has some great airtime. I cannot express how much airtime this coaster has. That's why it's coming in at number 6 as my most excited rides that I will ride in 2015. Number 5 is Diamondback, another B&M hyper actually at Kings Island. This coaster does look a tad better than Behemoth because of that splashdown. It has a slightly steeper drop, and this coaster does look like it provides a ton of airtime too. You have a great twister section. You have that splashdown like I mentioned just before, and this coaster does look like it will provide some really great ride experiences for me. I'll try and ride this coaster more than once so I get an exact review when I do review this coaster, as for the other roller coasters that are in this countdown. This coaster though has some great airtime, some great overbanks. I cannot really express much more of how awesome this coaster looks. Number 4 is Twisted Colossus. This is, of course, the newest roller coaster at Six Flags Magic Mountain. It's the first ever dueling hybrid coaster. You have some great elements on this coaster. You have an 80-degree drop. You have the first ever hybrid high five. It isn't the first ever high five element because there is a coaster like that is awarded in China. But this is the first ever hybrid high five. You have some really cool airtime moments is what it seems on this coaster. As everyone knows, this coaster is opening on May 23rd, confirmed. This coaster has an 80-degree drop. You have some great other airtime moments, and this coaster also does provide cool inversion elements and also really cool overbanked elements. Number 3 is the wildest roller coaster in the West, the Maverick at Cedar Point. This coaster looks amazing. You have that 70-mile-per-hour launch. You have that 95-degree drop, which makes the roller coaster feel like it's going under its lift hill. You have those insane transitions. You have some insane transitioning inversions. This coaster just looks pure intensity rush. This also provides some really good airtime moments on this coaster too. Mostly ejector, because it kind of like just throws you out of your seat for a split second and pushes you right back down. This coaster, though, looks like it could be one of the best roller coasters I've ever ridden, and one of the best roller coasters as my eyes at right now at Cedar Point. Coming in number 2 is Leviathan, again at Canada's Wonderland. This is a B&M Giga, the first ever B&M Giga, and actually it's only one out of the 2. But this coaster looks amazing. Probably not as good as Fury 325, as more people that would be biased about this coaster would probably beg to differ. But this coaster has an 80-degree drop, some really sweet overbanks, some really sweet airtime moments. Not that many airtime moments, but it does provide. And it has a pretty cool lift hill, just going up slowly, being anticipated for that drop. It's 306 feet tall, 92 miles per hour. What more can you really want from a Giga coaster? And it makes that huge roaring sound because, of course, it's by B&M. And B&M Gigas and B&M coasters in general are known to make that sound. And number 1 is Millennium Force. What is there to say about this coaster? It is overrated, yes indeed, but this coaster is the coaster that I'm most excited to ride for 2015. It may not end up being my most favorite coaster that I've ridden, as I've already ridden, of course, for the past couple of years, some really great roller coasters that are some of the best out there. But Millennium Force probably and definitely will be up there, but like I said, it is overrated, but it's still an excellent ride. That's why it's my most anticipated ride / roller coaster that I will be riding for 2015.